Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back. This is Snoozy. The War Within is heating up in Season 2, and Mythic Plus is about to be taken to a new level. In this video, I'm going to be going over my thoughts, expectations, and hopes for the next season. We'll primarily be focused on the dungeon pool selection, class balancing, as well as the dungeon tuning. The first thing we're going to talk about is the dungeon pool. This is the least excited I have been for a dungeon pool. We have dungeons like Dark Flame Cleft, Operation Mechagon Workshop, and Theater of Pain. I was hoping to see dungeons that had brought the essence of Mythic Plus with the big pools and the big numbers that we all love. The feel we got when running Underrot, Freehold, Ataldazar, or even Algathar Academy seems to be slipping more and more away as we continue to push through seasons and expansions. We are getting dungeons that have smaller pools and require way more coordination to just live and complete. Blizzard's creativity in the creations of these dungeons, there's nothing to scoff at, but it's hard to be excited for dungeons that don't capture the adrenaline rush we got from pulling double or even triple packs. The feeling of doing excessive damage on big pack pulls and seeing your class shoot up to the top or do crazy AoE damage, or the fun bosses that got damage buffs that you could pump on. I hope that the dungeon pool does clean up with the changes that are on the way, with Dark Flame Cleft getting some adjustments, Workshop getting some adjustments, and Theater of Pain getting some adjustments, and that these keys will be viable and actually have a fun feel to them and not just be chores. The next thing we're going to be talking about is class balancing. We're most likely going to be seeing the same meta. I applaud Blizzard in the fact that they have closed the gap on the class damage capabilities, with the outliers being fewer than they've ever been before. But I can't help but look at the utility tuning not really being considered. You have so many classes that are really good but lack the utility to compete with the meta classes. Whether it's the duration of their interrupt cooldown, group damage reduction, group healing, bloodlust, or even their group-wide CC. Balancing utility by adding utility to different specs would help bring a bigger variety of class representation and meta variability. We'd have to get away from some classes only being meta because their damage is overtuned just for them to get nerfed and lose all value. We see this with Fury Warrior every single expansion, where they have an overtuned season and then Blizzard nerfs the damage and now we lose Fury Warrior altogether. With their utility of Rallying Cry not being as strong as a utility of having a Ancestral Guidance or having a Nature's Vigil or a Bloodlust. We have to get to the point where the meta is decided by mechanics and utility required for those mechanics being widespread amongst specs. Being able to have the same mechanic that has a utility required to get through it, not just be to one class or to one spec, go out in variety so that we are able to bring more classes in and to be able to shuffle things around and then not feel bad for playing something else. Moving into our dungeon tuning, in my opinion, we are set to have dungeons that have slightly easier feels to them than the current season, but I still believe they're going to be overall pretty difficult. What we see right now is damage profiles and tuning that is incredibly punishing to groups that aren't coordinated or playing at the top end with a top 0.1% skill level. Blizzard recently released an update that smoothed out tank damage, but I think that we should take that even further and we should smooth out damage for the entirety of the group. This would give us an overall better feel to the dungeon, and this would incentivize players to want to continue to play content because it doesn't feel bad every time you're getting in the key and getting hit by something and it automatically one-shotting you or almost killing you just for you to die to an overlap. One of the ways that we can make dungeons easier while also smoothing out the damage profile is adjusting the interrupt change. I believe this was bad for the game and should be reverted. Yes, on the top end, it's a little bit better because it closes in the meta where we're not playing with just a prop pally and mage and shadow priest, but the vast majority of players and groups are not capable of even maintaining a kick rotation or maintaining a CC rotation, which is resulting in more deaths and more brick keys. And I think that we should move away from this so that it is easier to go into LFG and play with people you've never met before and that you don't have to be in comms with and run down a 30-minute strat before the key starts. This would roll us into our Challenger's Peril issues. I believe Challenger's Peril is way too overtuned and way too punishing. The 15 seconds lost per death is so punishing that a wipe, even though it takes a minute 15 off the dungeon timer, we aren't accounting for the lost time in running back, the lost time for cooldowns lost, and it turns that minute 15 into sometimes double or even triple the amount of time lost just from having a mistake made by your tank or by your healer or even a DPS missing a kick. Right now, these dungeons are way too intense in some cases, and I don't believe that the season is set up to make people excited and incentivized to push content to the greatest of their ability and to put more into it. I fell in love with Mythic Plus back in BFA, where we had the big pools that didn't require heavy coordination at most levels, and that we were able to pump and feel that adrenaline rush that we always associate with Mythic Plus. These are my thoughts. These are my opinions. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments section. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Snoozy, and I'm out.